Welcome to your weekly reading, and let's go ahead and see what's coming up for this week. Okay, so I'm going to pull 9 cards for us. Okay, so the first card is the Hermit. The next card is Strength. The Chariot. The Lovers. The Hierophant. The Emperor. Page of Wands. Ten of Swords. I feel like this card comes up for us a lot in the love readings and in the weekly readings. And then we end with the Five of Swords. Okay, so up here we have all major arcana. 6 out of 9 cards are major arcanas. This is a new deck, but this is not the first time that I've used it, and I have shuffled the hay out of it. So we start off with 6 major arcanas, which I think is like really powerful. And the first card is the Hermit. This is a reference to kind of, it's time to kind of be on our own. I feel like for some of you, you may not feel, you may not be feeling the Christmas spirit. There may be something going on within your family or maybe within you where you're not really kind of feeling like being around other people. You may not feel like being in crowds. I feel like there's something kind of brewing inside of you, and they're saying this is a perfect time to do a lot of soul searching and try to receive insights and get answers to the things where you really need to know. I feel like this could be a powerful time for you. And then we have the Strength card. I feel like, I'm already looking at the Chariot here. I feel like there's a significant, like major significant change headed our way. Before we get to this, they're telling us we have to kind of work on ourselves. I kind of feel like the Hermit and the Strength card are similar because the Hermit is about being on your own and, like I said, doing soul searching and trying to receive answers, getting to the truth of the matter. And the Strength card is about conquering your ego, of kind of living more from spirit, from your higher self, rather from, than living from your ego. And you can only really do this once you do this. So it's kind of interesting that we do have the Hermit first and then the Strength card. So I feel like that is a crystal clear message. We need time on our own to kind of possibly receive answers, but also to kind of learn to not kind of react from the ego. I don't know. I feel like for some people you have a huge change coming for you but they're saying you first, like your guides right now, your angels are trying to kind of deprogram you from some type of like egoic way of thinking, something that has to be let go of in order to really like embrace these changes that are down here. So this is kind of learning to conquer your ego and living more from your higher self and being in a much more peaceful place. And then we have the Chariot. So this is a significant change. For some of you, you know, the Chariot is sometimes a reference to travel. It could be that you're moving, you could be moving house or moving to a different state or different country, but it's just change, it's movement. So if you've been stuck in a rut or just, you know, in a place that you don't like, there's change here, but they're saying something within you has to kind of has to change first. You have to deprogram yourself from some way of thinking. And the only way to do that is by being on your own and really doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of change, a lot of things kind of stirring up in your life. And part of that is the Lovers. This is always a significant relationship coming into your life. This isn't a casual date, a date that never calls you back. This is a relationship that's either a life partner or someone that you spend years with. And like I said, I felt like here we're being prepared for something. I mean, maybe for everyone it's not the Lovers, especially those people who are already married, or a committed relationship. For those people it could be marriage, but I feel like for others who are single, it could be that you're being prepared right now. This huge change from the Chariot could be the significant relationship here, and they're saying they want you kind of, you may be on your own now and feel like you're stuck in a rut or not really finding this lover, because they're trying to get you to be living more from your higher self and let go of that, you know, old way of thinking. So a significant relationship could be part of the changes from the Chariot. We also have the Hierophant. And to me, the Hierophant, it represents two things. Part of this is spiritual energy, kind of like the High Priestess. And I feel like many of you, you're being like gently, ever so gently guided towards a romantic partner, because it's next to the Lovers card. And this is a romantic partner that you probably have a really strong karmic connection to. Like, it's no problem, I mean, not no problem, it's no accident that you're being like prepared up here. You're being prepared for this person to come into your life. I feel like you have to be in the right mentality. So this is spirit working behind the scenes, this is spiritual energy to bring a very karmic couple together. But this is also a place where you belong. To me, that's another meaning of the Hierophant. It's that, you know, you finally find that place or that person that, you know, you really feel at home with. And for some of you, it could be, because it's next to the Lovers, that you finally find that person that just feels perfect to you. Of course, no one is perfect, but you can find certain people that, you know, they know exactly what you're thinking. They know, you know, the perfect thing to say. And you feel at home with them. And I feel like that's the type of relationship that's lined up for you. You have the Emperor here. And I feel like this is kind of going back to what we were talking about up here. I feel like in order to have, like, you know, this happiness here, whether it's romantic or just kind of finding where you belong, you have to be in the energy of the Emperor, which means you have to feel in control of your life. Again, going back to these two cards. And the only way sometimes for us to feel in control and to see ourselves as powerful is to be on our own. So if you kind of feel like whether you're not finding that romantic partner or you're not finding that job or that, you know, nothing is changing in your life and you feel like, you know, you're kind of isolated, you're there for a reason, because they're trying to get you to see yourself in a different light. They're trying to get you to conquer your ego, not kill your ego. I mentioned that in last week's angel message. Well, I didn't mention it. Spirit did, because I channeled that. That some people, you know, they don't really understand the concept of duality. So I feel like it's kind of learning to kind of manage your ego to see yourself as powerful. And this is kind of just feeling in control of your life. So I feel like for some of you, you need this in order to either have this relationship or to have the abundance that you need and the changes from the Chariot, because it is lined up here. Okay, so the next card is the Page of Wands. So this card, again, it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of excitement. Sometimes it is, some type of message, a phone call or an email that just kind of, it has you kind of jumping up and down, because it's something that's so exciting. It's lined up here, with the Hermit and the Lovers. It could be that you hear from someone, perhaps someone new that you meet that asks you out, or someone from your past. But again, it's like you need time. Perhaps you needed time on your own, or they needed time on their own in order to process some things, to really kind of learn to work on the ego and feel in control. But this is just kind of a lot of excitement headed your way. A lot of excitement and a lot of change. And this is kind of like, I feel like also for some of you, like, you need this time from the Hermit to be on your own, to kind of change your ways. I feel like the only way for some of you to find this change from the Chariot, or to find, the perfect partner from the Lovers, is to learn to be more adventurous, because that's what the Page of Wands is. The Page of Wands doesn't kind of wait to see if, let me see if I meet someone, or let me see if I get that job, or let me see if anything positive is going to happen for me. The Page goes out and finds that excitement and makes it happen. So I feel like they're saying, if you're waiting for this perfect lover to come into your life, he or she is not going to come in by you sitting there waiting. They're going to come into your life by you going out there and looking for them. But I feel like, once you're doing this work here, or it could apply to your career or to your home life. The next card is a Ten of Swords, and I feel like this card was in last week's weekly reading. I don't know if it was a weekly reading or the love reading. I have no way of knowing because I do so many readings that I confuse myself. But I know that we had it somewhere. And it represents fear. And then it's next to another fear-based card from the Five of Swords. So here I go again. I feel like I talk about it every week. There is fear in this reading. There's strong fear from the Ten of Swords. You're fearing something from the past. You're fearing something from the past that did not work out. And I feel like, some of you, you may have been put by spirit in this energy of the Hermit, where you're, you just kind of been keeping to yourself and planning, what's my next move, my next decision. Some of you may have like purposely put yourself here where you're being the Hermit. You're like not engaging in life because of this. The Ten of Swords represents something that happened to you in the past. Perhaps a betrayal, something painful that happened to you. And you feel like it's going to happen again. And then the Five of Swords, this is a betrayal. This is possibly someone that came and just kind of like caused all sorts of havoc in your life. Someone that turned out to not be who you thought they were, and you're still really kind of focusing on this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person like in a romantic relationship, although it can be, because we do have the Lovers. For some of you, it does mean that you're kind of, you're harping on the past, on someone that lied to you or betrayed you, and because of that, you're staying put in the energy of the Hermit. And if you keep doing that, you're gonna miss out on a lot. There's a lot of, change and movement that could happen in your love life from the Chariot. A significant relationship from the Lovers. This is where you truly belong anyway. So what happened here, cross it out, X. You didn't belong there anyway. It was just a lesson. This is really bringing you into your personal power. And for others, it could be, career, your home life. But I feel like you might be kind of cheating yourself out of all of this, all of these opportunities and happiness. That's the energy of the Five of Swords. Sometimes you're being your own worst enemy. Sometimes it does mean that other people are kind of sabotaging you, but I don't see any other cards in this reading that support that. I kind of feel like because it's next to the Ten of Swords that some people are focusing on the past, on the betrayal, on the pain, and because of that, I feel like you might be staying put. So I'm focusing on the first card, on the final card, and I feel like you may be staying in this energy of the Hermit because you're protecting yourself from what happened here with the Five of Swords. Or maybe you were betrayed, or in some way something that you thought was, when it was going to work for you, was going to bring you happiness, did not work. But I feel like for some of you, it may have been a betrayal in some way, or something that was very painful because the Ten of Swords is here. But I feel like it's time to forget that. If you don't, you always have a choice. But I feel like if you don't, you're missing out on some really like huge changes, positive changes in your life. And they're just kind of waiting for you to say yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the love reading. Okay, so let's get into the love reading. In order to save time, I've already properly shuffled the deck, and I'm just going to cut it now and choose the cards. Okay, so the first card that we have is the Three of Swords. Knight of Cups. Queen of Swords. The Chariot, which we had in the weekly reading. Page of Pentacles, which I believe last week was right in the center of the reading as well, and there it is again. The Queen of Cups, lined up with the Queen of Swords here. The Tower. The Two of Cups. And the Hermit, which ironically it was our first card in the weekly reading and now is our final card in the love reading. Okay, so give me a moment to look this over and tie everything together. Okay, so let's start up here with these three cards, and let's start with people who are either married or in a relationship. I see that you're dealing with some type of heartache here from the Three of Swords. We have the Knight of Cups right next to it. I feel like some of you, either you have broken up or you are spending some time apart. There's been some type of misunderstanding. But again, I feel like somebody is kind of reaching out. Either it's happened already or somebody's going to be reaching out to the other person. There's some type of like misunderstanding, some type of breakup. I feel like someone is very unhappy here. I do kind of feel, because the Queen of Swords is here, that one partner is putting more effort into the relationship. I feel like somebody is hurting in the relationship. Somebody really wants to make it work, and the other partner is in this energy of the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords does not do well with emotions. She's more logical, she's more rational, she's more interested in her career. So you might, be having problems with your relationship or with your marriage, and you really want to pour your heart out. You want to work this out, but you might be dealing with the partner who is a little distant, because we have two cards from the Suit of Swords. This is all mental energy, with love being offered right in the middle. Yeah, I felt like there was another message. Sometimes channeled messages come through in these readings, but I feel like sometimes I kind of like go, before I can even like catch the message, it kind of, I'm not able to. Okay, so like I said, I feel like there's something kind of going on in a relationship. One partner is not being quite as responsive as the other. Now for single people, I feel like, the same thing. I feel like you're lonely. Three of Swords. You may be thinking about past relationships. You may be thinking how your heart was broken in the past. And I feel like you're keeping love at a distance. Again, Three of Swords, Queen of Swords. You might be more interested in your career. Maybe not because you're really interested, but because it's safer for you to focus on your career. It's safer for you to not get involved in messy emotions. But there's something here that's being offered to you. If there's somebody is romantically interested in you and they've already kind of shown interest and but you're keeping them at a distance. Or it could be you that is interested in someone who is kind of detached. They're not responding to you because they're thinking about the past and they're afraid of letting you in. But I feel like love is being offered to those who are single. And either you're keeping love at a distance because you've been hurt, or you're dealing with someone who you don't understand, like, why aren't they letting me in? It's because they have been hurt in the past and they're afraid to deal with those kind of emotions. Now, let's move on to this row. Now we have the Chariot here, which, like I said, we also had in the weekly reading. This is, a major arcana, and this is a lot of change and a lot of movement. And I feel, considering what I said up here, for those of you who are single or in a relationship, I feel like those of you who are struggling, you don't quite understand what's going on with your partner, why aren't they responding? Are we going to be able to work it out? I feel like you will get over this. The Chariot represents a lot of changes. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes in the relationship, maybe after you have some time apart, especially after you have some time to learn it's either some type of lesson that has to be learned, or maybe you don't know enough about either yourself or your partner. Consider that we did have the Hermit in the weekly reading. It was the first card, and here it is the final card, and the Page of Pentacles, which was right in the center of the reading last week as well. This card is all about learning. It's all about knowledge. So I feel like things will work out with those of you who are struggling with a relationship, or you're kind of wondering, will it work out or not? Things are up in the air. You have a lot to learn, but there is a lot of change coming. I feel like you have to be very heart-based, very receptive, because your partner probably is not being in this energy. They're probably being in the energy of the Queen of Swords. I mean, they're both queens. They represent female energy, but they don't always have to be two women. So it would be kind of like a woman who is a air sign and a woman who is a water sign. Sometimes they can just be people with those qualities. So like I said, it could be a partner who's more logical and doesn't like to have a heart-to-heart talk about emotions, and I feel like this might possibly be you. Someone who's very heart-based, someone who's very intuitive, someone that just kind of wears their heart on their sleeve. So I feel like you're going to be understanding your partner a lot more. Those of you who are struggling and actually have this going on, you're going to understand your partner much better if you're really kind of focusing on feelings. I feel like analyzing the relationship, that's what's going on up here, analyzing, it's just going to bring you more heartache. I feel like you have a lot to learn about yourself and about your partner, maybe even about the karma of this relationship. I'm looking at what's going down the center of this reading here, the Knight of Cups and then the Two of Cups, which are two relationships, with a card about learning right in the middle. So I feel like you have a lot to learn about either yourself, your partner, maybe even about your karmic history. I feel like this is being just very loving, open. No matter what's going on up here, no matter what you're dealing with, I feel like you need to kind of stay calm. I feel like this will pass. Now, for those of you who are single, the message is kind of the same. Like I said up here, I feel like some of you, you might be keeping love at a distance because you've been hurt in the past, or because you're just not very trusting. Maybe you're just you're more interested in career. But I feel like whether you like it or not, change is coming. I feel like this is significant movement and change in your life. Someone coming in. I'm looking at what's going on down here. There's heartache and there's a lot of change, a major arcana, and then the Tower, a significant change in your life. I feel like your life is in the process of being rebuilt after being possibly in a really bad place emotionally. So this is a lot of change and a lot of movement in your life. Some of you maybe even travel. Again, with the Page of Pentacles right in the middle. So I feel like those of you who feel like you have bad luck in romance, and you just may feel like, I don't want to date anymore, I'm jinxed, every person that I date was just like the other. I feel like you have something to learn, possibly about yourself, possibly about your love life. Again, it's going to come when you really take the time to reflect. And I keep talking about this card, but remember that it came up in the weekly reading. You have a lot to learn about yourself when it comes to love. It could be that you're focusing on the wrong person. I know I said that last week, but I'm just getting that message again. You may be looking for something that you shouldn't be looking for. Something it's if anything, the thought of dating, you may be focusing on looking for someone, and the thought of actually meeting that person makes you not want to look. So I feel like you should be looking for romance, or even when you think about romance, do it with an open heart. Don't let fear into this equation. I feel like you have a lot to learn about yourself, and I feel like some of this you might discover as you're kind of looking for a partner, and as you meet different people, you will be learning about yourself. Okay, so let's move on to this row down here. Okay, again, for those who are married or in a relationship, like I said up here, I feel like one partner might be kind of pulling back, and the other partner might be kind of freaking out what's going on with this relationship. Like I said, I feel like everything will work out in the end. It's a learning experience. You have to stay really heart-based. I feel like there's going to be a significant change, for the Tower. Possibly you may have gone through a really kind of rough time in this relationship to really learn about each other, to really, like, some of you, I feel like you needed to go through this to really appreciate the relationship. Like, maybe, like, the phrase, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Or some of you, that really applies. So I feel like as long as you're being, like, really kind of open-hearted and receptive, you can fix the situation, or possibly you're broken up and there's just distance between you. I feel like if you're really kind of trying emotionally and really following your intuition, there's a significant change here. I feel like your relationship is being rebuilt. It's not going to be the same relationship that you were in before. And then the Two of Cups is right here. So I feel like you will feel closer to your partner, because the Two of Cups is a relationship card, but it's also a card of closeness, of really kind of feeling like you found a kindred spirit. So if you're in a relationship where you're going through a tough time, things are not looking good, I feel like something is kind of happening. It's a learning experience to kind of rebuild a different relationship that that really kind of defines who you are as a couple, and you will actually be closer after this learning experience. But then we end the reading with the Hermit. So I feel like it's going to take some time. Notice how these cards are kind of lined up here. The Three of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Hermit. So this would be heartache, perhaps being separated from the person you love, misunderstanding, arguments, a learning experience, time on your own, and soul searching. So like I said, some of you may have to spend time on your own. You may kind of decide to stay somewhere else, or just kind of give each other space. I feel like this is all about learning and healing. You're not actually giving up on the relationship. Or if somebody has kind of shut you out of the relationship and you're kind of wondering, are they going to come back? I feel like they may need some time to kind of figure things out. They may actually need time to figure out that you're actually, the person that they want in their life. Okay, now for those who are single, again, the Tower. So, I've said this in other readings. I feel like, you're being prepared right now. Those of you who are single, I don't know if I mentioned, well, not me, Spirit mentioned this in the angel message. I feel like it was either this week or the last week. I know I do delete them. I feel like you're being prepared for like a significant relationship right now. So they're having you kind of deal with your fears and inner demons, get all that stuff cleared out. Everything that was a learning experience, release it from the past. You're supposed to be getting in touch with your heart, getting over these fears of being in a relationship. Something's being offered to you. Again, look at what we have going on in the middle here. The Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, and a learning experience. So I feel like those of you who are single, that are dwelling on relationships that didn't work out in the past, and you're like, love, I'm not going to go there again because look what happened last time. Every time I try, it always ends the same way. Learning experience, Page of Pentacles in the middle again. And I feel like you have love is like headed your way, whether you like it or not. Two of Cups, Knight of Cups. Those of you who are women, this is your knight in shining armor. This is someone very in touch with their emotion. This is someone that you feel really close to. Again, you feel like they're a kindred spirit. Those of you who are male, well, it's the same thing. A woman, the Queen of Cups is here. A woman who's possibly a water sign. Someone who's very heart-based. So if you're more mental and you're more, let me analyze the hell out of this relationship, see if this person fits into my life. You may have a woman who's very loving, very gentle, very affectionate, heart-based, who's coming into your life to change everything. Or it could be a man, like I said, I don't want to say just because they're queens. It could be a man who's very in touch with his emotions, and he completely changes everything for you. The Tower. Like, this is your life kind of being rebuilt. And a significant relationship, someone that you really kind of feel close to. You feel like this is a soulmate. This is a karmic relationship, a significant relationship. And we did have the Lovers card in the weekly reading. We do have the Hermit. This is, our final card. I'm getting the same message, as I said just a few minutes ago. I feel like right now they're giving you the time to deal with healing from the past, letting things go, realizing that certain things were a learning experience. I'm just kind of looking at what's going on here. Whatever heartache that, comes up for you every once in a while when you think about dating again, fears that you have about relationships, they're telling you that all of this was actually for a reason. If you look at it very carefully, I feel like you will actually be able to see what you learned from it. And what you learned, you will actually be able to apply it to this relationship. And there is a relationship right here that is coming into your life. So I feel like everything that, is kind of keeping those of you who are afraid of being in a relationship, all those, relationships that went wrong, they're actually meant to teach you something very valuable that you can actually apply to, a beautiful new relationship coming into your life. Okay, everyone, this has been your weekly reading. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again soon.